So we're going to try a battery swap here.
What you're looking at here is a Nio ES6 swapping its battery in under 3 minutes. Later, that same owner could be relaxing in this first-class style lounge, getting a bit of work done outside of the office. And later still, they could be blowing off some steam by watching cartoons, all from their car's screen. China's EVs are operating on a whole different level, and we're just scratching the surface. It's Sunday in Shanghai, but you wouldn't know it from the energy outside the Mixi Mall. Shoppers flood high-end stores, tech outlets, and restaurants. But tucked away in the back of a sleek, direct-to-consumer EV store is something different. Welcome to Nio House. It's almost akin to an airport lounge. This third space, that is a space for people to exist in public that isn't their jobs or their homes, is a perk that comes with ownership of one of any new Nio vehicles, one of China's premier premium EV brands. In China, there are hundreds of Nio houses. This space is not only a place for Nio owners to have a small carve-out in a hugely busy area, but it's a co-working space, playroom for kids, a meeting area that can be rented out for private events, a space for new owners to learn about the new features of their vehicles, a library where owners can check out books to read during long road trips around China, and a cafe. At first, Nio didn't want us to take footage of the cafe. They insisted it was too dirty and too busy to be shot by our video team. But we did it anyway. The cafe was busy slinging coffee and tea drinks, including the city drink, a drink that Nio's chefs explicitly crafted to reflect the culture of the particular region of China where we were. This ain't a Nio sales pitch though. Nio itself is a premium EV manufacturer aspiring to be on the same level as BMW and Audi. It sells a full line of EV sedans, crossovers, and even a station wagon. During my time in China, I was able to get behind the wheel of two of its most important models, its best-selling ES6 crossover and the ET7 executive sedan. China's lead in EVs goes beyond just foreign policy, or whatever reason of choice you've been told before. BYD passed Tesla in the sale of electrified vehicles for good reason. It's not just because of nationalism or the Chinese government's insistence of boosting its own vehicles over outsiders. Some are quick to say that my trips to China are merely guided tours of spoon-fed propaganda and that China's EV claims are complete fiction. That's not true. At all. China's EVs are in the future, whether it's the cars themselves or the whole infrastructure that supports them.
So I'm here in Shanghai, China, driving the Nio ES6. The ES6 decidedly feels like a crossover, sort of like on the SUV end of the spectrum. It's not necessarily sporty. This car is not sporty at all. It's very soft. And it's generally quiet. All the surfaces feel really nice to the touch.
Both cars are software-driven and well-resolved, even if the ES6 in particular had overly light steering and very soft suspension for my personal taste. They felt contemporary and well-finished, exceptionally mature for a car brand that hasn't even been making cars for 10 years. They both had super responsive, self-developed software suites that were even in English. These cars had adjustable adaptive suspensions and an AI-driven mascot complete with a fancy cowboy hat. These interiors felt nice, quiet, and just good. But the ES6 and ET7's sent from the future demeanor go well beyond the cars themselves. There's other technical advancements, like this.
Power swap is about to start. During this time, vehicle may shake and make noise. This is normal. Do not open any door, shift gears, or press brake pedal.
Yep, you saw that right. The whole battery can raise and lower in and out of the car, without the need for fast charging. In all, it takes maybe 5 full minutes, which is a lot quicker than waiting all day at a DC fast charging station. I don't know of any European or American brand that does this, yet Nio claims to have done more than 62 million swaps. Earlier that year, I got my proverbial hair blown back at the Beijing auto show. You probably saw I didn't have all that much hair, but just believe me, I had more hair during this trip, I swear. There was a lot to highlight. It was several exhibition halls full of just stuff. So much stuff that I didn't even see it all. Every homegrown Chinese brand was there, putting its best foot forward with hyper-connected, well-sorted EV cars with fun tricks. Like a crossover that turns into a pickup truck. Or a minivan with 3 sliding doors and seats that can face each other. It's not just traditional car brands either. China's tech giants like Huawei and Xiaomi also had presence, with the Xiaomi SU7 sealing the show despite already being on Chinese roads. The line was so long that I actually had to leave the show and visit a Xiaomi store to check it out in person. If this is where these brands were a year ago, where will they be next year, or 5 years from now? And just like what I would experience a few months later after the Beijing Auto Show on a separate trip to China with Nio, other brands were also up to snuff. A spin in a few Zeekr models like the Zeekr X and Zeekr 007 revealed that Chinese cars are better resolved than the EV models I got at home. Please ignore my clearly not track-ready helmet, y'all. Here I was driving a 637 horsepower EV that could charge to 80% in as little as 10.5 minutes, all for the same price as a Tesla Model 3. It was fantastic. The not-so-track-ready small crossover with its sliding center screen was also crazy good.
It's just so crazy how nice this thing is. This is what I thought Buick would be offering.
Yeah.
But they aren't. All these services are nice and interesting.
I just thought the rest of the world would be at this level by now. But I got to China and just learned how far behind we were. And I felt embarrassed. I am aware that Nio and Zeekr are fairly premium vehicles both inside and outside of China. Those cars can be $40,000 to $50,000 or more, which is a lot of money in China. What about the little guy? What about the guy who can't afford a super pricey EV? Is it just peanuts for them? Nope. The Envo L60 is just one of many competitors meant for middle-class EV buyers in China. Also run by Nio, this $21,000 EV can swap its batteries just like its premium Nio ES6 brother. No lie, China was overwhelming. While in the US we're still figuring out how consumers will afford the handful of somewhat pricey EVs on the market, while struggling to create affordable new options, China's already doing the damn thing on several levels. How the hell did they get here? Of course, the Chinese government essentially gave its companies a blank check to get its EV sector running. Some claim IP theft, but most brands will push back on that. I mean, I haven't seen any US EV brand implement a nationwide battery swapping infrastructure. Have you? It's clear that whatever investment China gave its tech and car companies worked. We need to replicate that here. We need to be encouraging development and investment in our own EV industry on a similar scale, with a unified push to match or outdo China with our own technological advancements. Does that mean industrial tax breaks or personal subsidies to buy the things? Maybe so. The Inflation Reduction Act was a good start, but if the United States wants to catch up, we need more programs like that, not fewer. Y'all, we gotta catch up, and fast.